In a quiet suburban neighborhood, Karen was known for her outspoken nature. With a knack for sharing her opinions, she often voiced concerns about various matters, from lawn care to what she deemed inappropriate decorations. However, her harshest critiques were reserved for her neighbors' cooking. Every evening, as the rich aromas of Indian spices wafted through the air, Karen would wrinkle her nose in distaste. She began to express her frustrations to other neighbors, labeling the strong smells as offensive to the neighborhood atmosphere. For Karen, it wasn't just about the food; she believed that these wonderful scents disrupted the peace and tranquility of their community. Her complaints turned into a rallying cry for those who agreed with her perspective, creating a divide in the neighborhood. While some sympathized with her, others admired the culinary diversity at play, relishing the unique flavors that brought character to their streets. As Karen continued to air her grievances, many began to wonder if her strong opinions were overshadowing the spirit of community. Little did she know that her complaints would soon spark an unexpected and lively response from her neighbor, who had grown tired of the negativity. This would lead to an event that would not only change the atmosphere of the block but also put Karen's attitude under the spotlight in a way she never anticipated. The stage was set for a cookout that would celebrate diversity and challenge Karen's narrow viewpoint. As the days went by, the aromas from her neighbor's kitchen grew stronger, and so did Karen's discontent. She found herself complaining more frequently to anyone who would listen, voicing her displeasure about the strong smells that drifted into her yard. For her, the rich scents of curry, cumin, and grilled meats were not just a nuisance, they were an affront to the peaceful atmosphere she believed should define their neighborhood. Karen began to describe these cooking smells as offensive, insisting that they disrupted the tranquility of their community. She often remarked that children playing outside should not have to suffer through such overwhelming odors while trying to enjoy their time outdoors. In her mind, it was a matter of neighborhood pride, and she felt it was her duty to protect it from what she viewed as an invasion of foreign scents. Word of Karen's complaints spread quickly, and some neighbors nodded in agreement, feeling similar sentiments about the cooking smells. However, others defended the culinary practices of their neighbors, celebrating the diversity that the different aromas represented. Karen's insistence on labeling these smells as a problem led to heated discussions in local gatherings and online forums. Despite her growing frustration, Karen remained unaware that her narrow viewpoint was beginning to alienate her from the community she sought to protect. Little did she know that her actions would soon trigger a response that would bring people together, one that she would not be a part of. Feeling hurt and frustrated by Karen's complaints, her neighbor, Aisha, decided to take a positive approach rather than engage in conflict. Instead of letting the negativity affect her, Aisha saw an opportunity to foster understanding and community spirit. She began planning a backyard cookout, inviting all the neighbors to celebrate the culinary diversity that made their neighborhood unique. Aisha envisioned a lively gathering where everyone could come together to share food and stories from their own cultures. She thought it would be a wonderful way for residents to experience the rich flavors of not only Indian cuisine but also dishes from 4 other cultures. With excitement, she reached out to her friends and neighbors, who eagerly offered to contribute their favorite recipes. As word spread about the cookout, anticipation grew within the community. Flyers adorned with colorful designs were posted around the neighborhood, highlighting the date and time of the event. Aisha's enthusiasm was infectious. She organized activities for kids and set up areas for people to relax and socialize. While most of the block looked forward to this celebration of unity, Karen remained oblivious to the positive shift happening around her. She was not invited to the cookout, which only fueled her frustration further. Little did she know that this gathering would soon create a buzz in their community and beyond, turning Aisha's simple idea into a much larger statement about acceptance and cultural appreciation. As the date for the cookout approached, Aisha dove into the planning process with enthusiasm. She wanted to create a welcoming atmosphere that celebrated not only her Indian heritage but also the diverse backgrounds of her neighbors. To begin, she reached out to her friends and neighbors for contributions, asking them to bring their favorite traditional dishes. This way, she aimed to honor the rich tapestry of cultures in their community. Aisha created a sign-up sheet where residents could list what they planned to bring. The response was overwhelming. Her neighbor from Mexico decided to make tacos, while another from Italy offered a delicious pasta salad. A couple from the Middle East agreed to bring hummus and pita, and another family shared their recipe for classic American barbecue ribs. Each dish reflected a piece of their heritage, and Aisha felt excited about the variety it would bring to the table. To enhance the festive spirit, Aisha organized activities for families and children. She set up games like sack races and a face painting station. Tables were decorated with colorful tablecloths and fairy lights strung across the backyard to create a warm and inviting atmosphere. This cookout was not just about food, it was an opportunity for neighbors to share stories, laughter, and a sense of belonging. Aisha hoped that by coming together in this way, they could break down barriers and strengthen ties within their community, especially after Karen's divisive remarks. The energy filled the air with excitement as everyone anticipated what was sure to be an unforgettable day. As the cookout day drew closer, Karen began to notice the excitement in her neighborhood. Colorful flyers were posted on trees and mailboxes, and neighbors buzzed with chatter about the upcoming event. However, she quickly realized that her name was absent from the guest list. Hurt and confused, Karen couldn't understand why she hadn't received an invitation. Feeling excluded, she turned to social media to express her frustration. With a series of posts, she lamented how she felt marginalized by her community for simply voicing her opinions. She referred to the cookout as a celebration of divisiveness, and criticized her neighbors for what she perceived as an exclusionary event that catered to certain cultures while dismissing others. Karen's posts soon caught the attention of some local groups who shared similar sentiments. While a few sympathized with her feelings, many others took to the comments section to challenge her views. They argued that Aisha's cookout was designed to promote inclusivity and celebrate diversity rather than shut anyone out. As reactions poured in, Karen found herself increasingly isolated. The very community she sought to protect now seemed to rally around Aisha's positive initiative. Instead of fostering understanding, her complaints had resulted in alienation. Frustrated and feeling like an outsider, Karen continued to voice her discontent online, unaware that her biases were becoming the subject of ridicule among many who valued community spirit and cultural appreciation. The day of the cookout finally arrived, and the neighborhood buzzed with excitement. Aisha's backyard was transformed into a vibrant festival ground, adorned with colorful decorations and strings of twinkling lights. The tantalizing aromas of various dishes filled the air, creating an inviting atmosphere that drew everyone in. Neighbors mingled happily, sharing laughter and stories as they gathered around tables brimming with mouth-watering food. Dishes representing 5 different cultures showcased the diversity of the neighborhood. Aisha's Indian biryani nestled next to her neighbor's spicy Mexican tacos. Meanwhile, platters of Italian pasta salad gleamed under the sun, and bowls of Middle Eastern hummus sat alongside a classic American barbecue spread. Each dish was lovingly labeled, allowing guests to appreciate the unique flavors and stories behind them. As families enjoyed their meals, children dashed around playing games organized by Aisha, their giggles echoing in the background. Some neighbors exchanged recipes while others reminisced about family traditions tied to their favorite dishes. The sense of community flourished as people bonded over shared experiences and newly discovered connections. Everyone savored not just the food but the spirit of acceptance and unity that enveloped the gathering. It was a day filled with joy and friendship, a stark contrast to Karen's earlier complaints. As smiles spread from one person to another, it was clear that the cookout had achieved its goal, bridging gaps, fostering understanding, and celebrating the rich tapestry of cultures that made their neighborhood truly special. As the cookout unfolded, guests couldn't resist capturing the joyful moments on their phones. Laughter filled the air as families posed for pictures in front of the beautifully decorated backyard, and platters of colorful dishes became popular backdrops for selfies. The energy was infectious, and many attendees shared their experiences live on social media, using hashtags like #NeighborhoodCookout and #culturalcelebration. Videos showcasing children playing games and neighbors engaging in friendly conversations quickly gained traction online. People shared clips of Aisha explaining her Indian recipes, while others showcased their own culinary contributions, highlighting how each dish told a unique story. The vibrant atmosphere and delicious food resonated with a wider audience, attracting attention beyond just their neighborhood. Within hours, posts about the cookout had gone viral. Neighbors who attended flooded their feeds with images of smiling faces and mouth-watering dishes, drawing admiration from friends and family far away. Comments poured in, praising the sense of community and cultural appreciation displayed at the event. Many users expressed their desire to see similar gatherings in their own neighborhoods. As the event captured hearts online, Karen's earlier complaints faded into the background. Instead of focusing on her grievances, people celebrated the unity that emerged from diversity. The overwhelmingly positive reaction to the cookout underscored how much joy could come from embracing different cultures, turning Aisha's initiative into a powerful message about acceptance and togetherness that spread far beyond their block. As the cookout continued to gain attention online, social media users reacted with overwhelming support for the celebration of cultural diversity. Posts flooded in from people sharing their own experiences with food and community, many expressing admiration for Aisha's initiative. Comments highlighted how important it is to embrace different cultures and foster understanding among neighbors. Users praised the event as a model for how communities should come together, showcasing the joy that comes from sharing diverse culinary traditions. In stark contrast, Karen's earlier complaints about the cooking smells were scrutinized and ridiculed. Memes began circulating that humorously depicted her as out of touch with the vibrant spirit of the neighborhood. Users pointed out that her insistence on labeling the delicious aromas as offensive reflected a narrow viewpoint that failed to appreciate the beauty of cultural expressions through food. Some commenters even shared personal stories about how they had overcome similar biases, illustrating a journey toward acceptance and appreciation of diversity. The overwhelming positive reaction not only celebrated the cookout itself but also called attention to the necessity of dialogue about inclusivity in their community. As Karen continued to post her grievances, she found herself increasingly isolated from the conversation. The online community rallied around Aisha and her efforts, turning Karen's negative views into a teachable moment about embracing differences rather than shunning them. This public response transformed the cookout from a small neighborhood gathering into a broader message of unity that resonated with many beyond their block. As the backlash against Karen grew, her comments about the cooking smells became a focal point for humor and criticism online. Memes began to surface, depicting her as a caricature of ignorance, often featuring captions that poked fun at her lack of appreciation for cultural diversity. One popular meme showed a cartoon version of Karen with exaggerated features, surrounded by images of delicious foods from different cultures, with the caption, "When your taste buds are stuck in the 1950s." Social media users also took to comment sections to share their own experiences with bias and cultural insensitivity, using Karen's complaints as examples. Many people expressed disbelief that someone could be so dismissive of flavors and aromas that represented rich traditions and histories. These comments served to amplify the criticism against her narrow viewpoint and highlighted the importance of embracing diversity. Some users even created videos compiling clips of the cookout festivities alongside snippets of Karen's complaints, contrasting the joy and unity at Aisha's event with her negative remarks. The videos quickly gained traction, illustrating how out of touch her attitudes were compared to the vibrant community spirit that everyone else was celebrating. Karen's attempts to defend herself on social media only fueled more ridicule, as she seemed unable to grasp why her views were met with such overwhelming backlash. Instead of gaining sympathy, she found herself increasingly isolated as more people rallied around Aisha's message of acceptance and togetherness. This shift not only exposed Karen's biases but also reinforced the community's commitment to honoring their differences through shared experiences. The vibrant cookout, sparked by a simple complaint, became a significant turning point for the community. It demonstrated the power of shared experiences in breaking down barriers and fostering understanding among neighbors. As residents gathered to celebrate their diverse cultures, they not only enjoyed delicious food but also created lasting connections that transcended earlier divisions. Events like this cookout remind us that community gatherings can be transformative. They provide opportunities for individuals to engage with one another in meaningful ways, promoting empathy and respect for different backgrounds. When people come together to share stories, laughter, and traditions, it creates a rich tapestry that enhances the spirit of any neighborhood. Moreover, this event served as a creative way to address prejudice. By showcasing the beauty in cultural differences rather than allowing negative perceptions to dominate, the community reinforced a message of acceptance. Karen's initial complaints were overshadowed by the overwhelming support for Aisha's initiative, which celebrated diversity rather than shunning it. In conclusion, the evolution of this neighborhood, from division to unity, illustrates that when communities embrace inclusivity through events like this cookout, they can effectively combat bias and cultivate a more harmonious environment. It is a powerful reminder that every individual has a role to play in creating a welcoming atmosphere and that joy can be found in celebrating what makes us different. Ultimately, this story is a testament to the strength of community and the importance of open hearts and minds.